let's face it, most of the emails you get are pretty weak. Maybe some of the emails you send are pretty weak too. And if you want to change that, if you want to make the maximum amount of money from your emails and have the greatest possible impact on your subscribers, it's time to unleash your copy superpowers. And today we're going to talk about 4 techniques that allow you to do that. And they're inspired by your favorite superhero, whoever that is. Okay, so tip number 1 is never underestimate the value of a quality villain. One of the things that makes superhero movies or comic books really interesting is there's some good bad guys. I shouldn't say good bad guys, right? There's some interesting bad guys. They're what really drives the plot forward, because the superhero isn't really relevant if there's not a super big problem. And so in your emails, you have to think about this. Your subscribers don't really care about your superpowers until they recognize that they have a super problem. And so it's up to you to reveal that to them and unpack that for them. So what does that look like? Think about your readers. What is it that's making their life harder in the area that, your industry, the thing that they came to you to learn about? What is it that makes their life harder? What's getting in the way of them reaching their goals? And what's, causing complications and stress? What are they scared of? What do they worry about? And you can talk about those things. You can even personify those things. Sometimes it's easy. If you're selling a money-related topic or a money-related service or product, the IRS is a pretty good bad guy, right? It's a pretty quality bad guy. So you can talk about the IRS. You can talk about taxation. And for someone who's thinking about building wealth or making money, the IRS is an easy bad guy to highlight. Rather than just talking about, here's a good way to save some money, you can talk about how the IRS is trying to take your money. The IRS is actually actively stealing from you, and there's a bad guy. But sometimes it's not going to be a person, but you can personify it. So, for example, if we're talking about, maybe losing weight, one of the bad guys could be a fad diet that is confusing everyone. It's sending everyone in the wrong direction, telling them lies that are really not healthy and not going to get lasting results for them. And now that's the bad guy. It's confusing people. It's delaying progress for people. And there's a solution. So your superhero can battle against the misinformation of that bad guy. So you just got to think about what are some of the things, what are the big things that are stopping your reader from getting the result that he wants? What's getting in the way? And some of the things that he's maybe worried about. That can be a bad guy. And spend some time talking about the bad guy. Some emails, are about the bad guy. And so that's so much more interesting in most cases than just talking about your product, just talking about your service, or talking about how cool you think you are. You want to talk about the bad guy that your reader already has some feelings about. Just crystallize those feelings around a person or personality, and that's a superhuman move that you could make. Number 2, superheroes are focused on saving the world. So, this is easy. Superheroes are not focused on saving themselves. They actually sacrifice themselves in many cases to help out the people who they want to help. And so your emails need to be focused on your subscriber, not focused on you, not focused on your product or your service, but ultimately they're focused on helping your reader. So it's easy for us. We do it a lot. Send emails talking about us, talking about our product, our service, talking about our, how long we've been in business, how my shirt is 100% cotton. People don't really care about that. People care about, again, saving the world. What do they need saving from? They need saving from, since we're talking about shirts now, shirts that make them itch. They need saving from shirts that shrink in the wash, right? That's actually kind of boring. I should have come up with a better example. But you should be focused on those. I hate when my shirts shrink in the wash. Now, that matters more than your shirts are made out of 100% cotton. They don't care about that. Actually, does cotton shrink in the wash? I don't know. So number one, you're thinking about saving them, not saving yourself. If you think about it, King T'Challa wasn't trying to make himself. He wasn't using his superpowers as Black Panther to enrich himself. I guess they were plenty rich already. But he was trying to help people. He was focused on the people he wanted to help. Same thing with Superman. Same thing with Spider-Man. They weren't using their powers for their own enrichment, but to help people. And so, as you're thinking about saving the world, the second thing is save the world. Don't send emails about little improvements that you can help your reader make. Tell them about the future that's possible for them, the transformative benefit of working with you. Don't say I can help you lose 2 pounds this year. They won't care about that. Tell them how they can lose 20 pounds or 50 pounds, if that's what they want. Make the big promise. We oftentimes think we need to under-promise and over-deliver, but if your email's under-promise, they're not going to see any reason to keep reading. You need to make a big promise, one that you can fulfill on. Big promise, big delivery. Okay, don't under-promise and over-deliver. You'll never get a chance to deliver if you under-promise. All right, so that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is identity is key. All of your favorite superheroes, probably all of them, have a secret identity, right? They are not who they seem to be. If you think about it, Superman is the real identity, right? And Clark Kent is the fake identity. But how does this relate to your emails and making money from email? Well, number one, there are 2 identities you need to think about. I should have made this multiple video. But number one, you need to think about, kind of related to what we said before, what the identity of your readers is. Who do they see themselves as? How do they see their place in the world? And that actually determines who's going to buy what more than anything else. How people identify themselves. If they think of themselves as a vegetarian, or they think of themselves as an animal lover. They think of themselves as whatever their identity is. That determines what emails they read, what products they buy, etc., and what they don't buy, what they won't pay attention to. So you need to know, understand, and appreciate, and then communicate to that identity. And on the flip side of that, you need to frame your own identity. Your own marketing needs to come from an angle where your identity is the right person, the right spokesperson for your brand, and the right person to talk to that audience and tell them the message that they need to hear. Who do you need to be to get through to them? Who do you need to be who will best resonate with them? You have the identity you need to create. Clark Kent was a carefully crafted persona of Superman. He said, who do I need to be to hang out with these people in the real world? And so he crafted that character. And you need to do the same for yourself. Now, I'm not saying you should be dishonest. You should be honest. You should be authentic. But you do need to craft your character and your identity. So especially as you're sending out email copy, especially as you're writing copy in general, who do you need to be, or who do you need to bring on to speak to your audience? Who is that person who can resonate with them, who they're likely to relate to and believe better than anyone else? That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is superheroes run or fly towards the danger. Everybody else is running away. Everyone else is running away from their problems or hiding. They're ducking for cover. And the superhero runs towards the danger. And so, as you're writing emails, you should feel courageous. You should feel emboldened to send controversial emails. You should be willing to take a stand for what you believe in and what you know your audience believes in. You can run towards, pick a fight. That's what I want to say. If there's multiple opinions out there, there's multiple approaches out there, There's things that are wrong, that you see are wrong in the world, or between you and your readers, you agree that this is the way things should be, and the other ways are wrong. You have to be willing to pick a fight, take a stand, and say what needs to be said, even if it's controversial, even if it will make some people angry, even if it's going to be perceived as divisive. This is a superpower for you if you're willing to say something, make a divisive statement that will drive some people away and bring some people closer. That's a superpower for you. So not backing away from difficult topics, not backing away from controversy, but willing to take a stand. Because when you do, your readers, those readers who have the same values and same beliefs as you, that message will resonate with them. That message will touch them, and you'll form a bond with them. We're the same kind of people. We're on the same team. And now you can say, I'm going into this fight with you. And that will help them to see that you're trustworthy, you're worth following. And since you have the same goals, the same agenda, the same belief, then buying from you makes more sense than buying from somebody else who they don't know where they stand. Or they know where they stand and it's not lined up with what they want to do. But if you never say anything, you never take a stand, they're not going to know. And so again, it will push some people away from you. That's okay, because you want to have, because as you're pushing other people away, you're pulling other people towards yourself. Those people who are going to be your ride or die kind of followers, your most loyal followers, your best buyers. And you'll be able to connect with them on a deeper level, on a stronger level than anyone else who isn't pursuing those controversial topics and isn't willing to stand up and fight that fight. So as you're writing emails, this will seem me for me to say, have the guts to pick a fight. For example, I mentioned vegetarians earlier. If you send an email saying that eating meat is evil, that's a fight. Some people are not going to want to read that email, or they're going to want to read it so that they can be angry with you. But the people who believe that it's evil, you've got them now. You're now connected to them in a way that you couldn't have connected with them just avoiding the topic. And so that becomes a superpower for you. And that's it. The 4 tips. Never underestimate the value of a quality villain. Focus on saving the world, making a big promise about the reader. Number 3, identity is key, both your identity and the identity of your reader. And number 4 is superheroes run or fly towards the danger, and they're willing to take a stand for what they believe in. And those are 4 ways to unleash the superpowers in your email copy.